What's up, guys? Welcome back to Weekly Weird News.
So, over the last year, marches and rallies in this country, they've become a regular occurrence and a popular way for people to take to the streets and let their beliefs and grievances be known. There was the Women's March, the March for Science, various such events for movements like Black Lives Matter, and then a few free speech rallies that ended up having way more proud Nazis and Klansmen than most people probably would have guessed existed in the year 2017. But let's not rehash that whole thing. Because last month we talked about how on September 16th, the strangest rally of all was going to be going down in the heart of Washington, D.C. The Juggalo March.
Juggalos, of course, being diehard fans of the controversial Midwestern horrorcore rappers The Insane Clown Posse, who, like their heroes, often wear clown face paint. Many also have the group's Hatchet Man logo tattooed onto their skin. They're also known to communicate using calls of whoop whoop. They drink tons of Faygo brand soda, and they refer to each other as my ninja. Honestly, referring to them as simply fans of ICP is kind of underselling it. Being a juggalo, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle that's often misunderstood. And that is kind of sort of the point. Despite ICP's songs often featuring extremely violent and profane language, their fan base is built around solidarity for society's losers and outcasts and weirdos. They're all about acceptance. And despite Juggalos largely hailing from the typically conservative white working class of the Midwest and Southern U.S., their acceptance extends to all races, genders, sexualities, and religious beliefs.
They're very inclusive.
They are. I don't know if we're doing a good enough job explaining just what a Juggalo is, though. So maybe some of these lyrics to the ICP song, What is a Juggalo, will help clear things up.
What is a juggalo? He drinks like a fish, and then he starts hugging people like a drunk bitch. Next thing, he's picking fights with his best friends. Then he starts with the hugging again.
What is a Juggalo? He ain't like anybody that you've ever met before. He'll eat Monopoly and shit out Connect 4.
What is a juggalo? He ain't a bitch boy. He'll walk through the hills and beat down a rich boy. Walks right in the house when you're having supper and dips his nuts in your soup. Gloop, gloop.
What is a Juggalo? Well, he ain't a phony. He'll walk right up and bust a nut in your macaroni. And watch you sit there and finish up the last bit. 'Cause you're a stupid ass dumb fucking idiot.
What is a juggalo? He's a graduate. He graduated from, well, at least he's got a job. He's not a dumb putz. He works for himself, scratching his nuts.
All right, so that probably clears things up, right?
Much like the furries, they're just misunderstood. And I know we've said this before, but it's worth saying again that we have not only infiltrated the Juggalos by going to a show, we also had a great time, and they were completely accepting of us.
Good people.
You know, I was a Juggalo in 9th grade, and you know, they say once a Juggalo, always a Juggalo.
Yeah.
So they still got that little tiny piece in there. And I still have that glow-in-the-dark ICP shirt from 1998 at my parents' house somewhere.
Gotta bring that up. So maybe the lyrics to What is a Juggalo don't clear things up all that much. I mean, they are a series of contradictions. I guess the fact that ICP's Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope are both also evangelical Christians, not gonna make any of this any more clear. Point is, though, they're an odd bunch. They're easy to make fun of, but they're generally on the side of good. Chaotic good, in the words of Dungeons and Dragons. The United States Department of Justice, they disagree with that though, and since 2011, they have included Juggalos on their National Gang Intelligence Center's list of gangs.
Designating the Juggalos as a criminal organization didn't come completely out of the blue. There are actually a surprising number of gangs across the US who identify as Juggalos and do some pretty bad shit. And then there's also been a bunch of incidents over the last decade or so of ICP fans who take their ridiculous lyrics seriously and go and commit acts of violence. However, there are a ton of Juggalos out there, and the vast majority keep things peaceful.
Yeah.
And many of them keep their Juggalo identities a secret outside of Juggalo-sanctioned events. Your coworker, your boss, your teacher, your neighbor, the host of a show you like, they just might be a Juggalo.
So the Insane Clown Posse and the Juggalos, they didn't take kindly to suddenly being considered criminals in the eyes of the law, especially since that designation has had actual serious negative effects on the lives of many upstanding Juggalo citizens. A law calling Juggalos a gang, it essentially makes discrimination against Juggalos totally legal. And that's made Juggalos targets of harassment by police, it's lost them jobs, it's lost them custody of their kids, and so on. The whole thing's on par with considering anyone who rides a Harley-Davidson motorcycle to be a member of the Hells Angels. It's ridiculous.
So in 2014, the Insane Clown Posse teamed up with the American Civil Liberties Union to sue the Justice Department and the FBI to remove the Juggalos gang classification, and this resulted in some very bizarre imagery of Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope speaking at an ACLU podium flanked by attorneys. The lawsuit, however, was dismissed on the basis that the gang designation didn't explicitly order the police to take any particular action against Juggalos, which sounds like a bunch of bullshit. Yeah, they didn't literally say go out and unfairly harass Juggalos, but it did say to go treat all these members like actual gang members.
Yeah. So that lawsuit, it's now going through the federal appeals court process, but in the meantime, the ICP decided that they not only needed to make their case to the courts, they also needed to make their case to the American people. Hence, the Juggalo March on Washington, where Juggalos from across the nation were invited to join together in our nation's capital to show that they might be weird, they might be a little bit scary, but they're a family, goddammit. So this past weekend, around 1,500 Juggalos descended upon DC's National Mall to show the world who they really are, and to highlight the fact that whether you like ICP or not, the fact that the US government has designated fans of a specific musical act as a gang is fucking ridiculous.
Where's the fucking classification of the believers, damn it?
And the parrot heads.
The parrot heads are a real gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch out for them. I also like the fact that, like, you know, because of it and the murderous clown things last year, that, like, the National Organization of Clowns and ICP have a lot more in common these days. They're, like, intersecting. They're like, hey, you know what? Good. Get out there and tell everyone that you're not scary because you put makeup on.
Yeah.
We'll just sit here and, I guess, reap the benefits.
Strange times we're living in.
I think Juggalos are a bit more proud to go out in their clown makeup than maybe some regular clowns.
Probably, yeah. But
I'm not putting on this makeup unless there's a check behind it. I only get paid to put on this makeup. Anyways, by all accounts, the whole thing went off without a hitch. It was a pretty good demonstration. Last month, when it was announced that the pro-Trump mother of all rallies, was going to be happening at the same time on the National Mall, many people were fantasizing about the inevitable clashes that the two groups would have. But the National Mall, it's over a mile long. The two rallies, they weren't adjacent to each other, and that mother of all rallies ended up having a smaller turnout than the Juggalo March. So it'd be like if the mother of all bombs was a firecracker. They were hoping for 1 million. They got around 1,000. Hashtag sad. Also, the Juggalos, they were there for one purpose, and it wasn't about anything other than their gang designation. They had focus.
Yeah, there were apparently a couple near run-ins, but they mostly consisted of dudes in MAGA hats walking past and laughing or filming, followed by Juggalos telling them to fuck right off.
Yeah.
So otherwise, the focus stayed on joining together to fight off negative stereotypes about Juggalos. ICP fans from all walks of life were invited to the podium to give testimony. Many of them talked about how they'd had rough childhoods and the Juggalo community had given them a family when they didn't have one otherwise. They talked about how they'd lost their jobs, lost custody of their kids, or even nearly gotten kicked out of the US military based simply on their love of ICP. They won't even let you die for your country if you like these guys.
Sad. Now, of course, because this is a rally after all, there were lots and lots of signs. The FBI listens to Nickelback. Judge me not by the color of my face paint. Don't shoot, I'm just a music fan with a really big family. Dragnets, how do they work? Fago, not fascism. Whatever this is. And when Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope took the stage themselves, they gave a heartfelt speech, which included nuggets like, taking away a man's free speech is like sewing his butthole shut. I don't give a fuck what the intelligence says, what the intelligence scholars teach the feds in law school. Intelligence is how to make a nuclear bomb, but wisdom is how not to use it. Juggalos possess mad wisdom. We're a family, ninjas. This may sound corny, but it's real shit. Love always wins every time, and we're marching for love. Juggalo family love.
Speaking to Rolling Stone, Shaggy 2 Dope said, that's the biggest misconception about people outside looking in. Thinking the Juggalos are just a piece of shit, inbred, uneducated fuckheads. You know what I'm saying? It's the furthest from the truth. Violent J continued, saying, you want to call us something? Call us a family, because a lot of us don't have a family, and all we've got is each other. This shit is real for us, man. The ICP and the ACLU, they're back due in court in just a few weeks to appeal their gang designation. Hopefully, the success and positivity of this rally in the heart of our nation's capital helps them to finally get the justice they deserve. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah. I'm moving on to some news out of the world of fashion. Woo! The fanny pack, or bum bag, or waist bag, or whatever you want to call it, has never been cool. Just practical.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, of course, it's real goddamn useful on hikes or at an all-day music festival. The public decided long ago that these things are just a fucking eyesore, okay? It's not only fitting that a new product coming soon is seeking to finally embrace the inherent ugliness of the fanny pack, and it's called the dad bag. In addition to providing storage, it also provides camouflage because it literally just looks like a beer gut.
Yeah, and it's quite realistic. Possibly too realistic for some people.
Yeah.
It's going to come in 6 different styles, covering a range of skin tones and hairiness levels to suit nearly every wannabe dad bod. There's not a whole lot of specifics about it yet, aside from the fact that it's a bag that looks like a human male stomach. We don't know how much it'll hold, though the promo photos do show it fitting at least an entire 16-ounce beer can. Pretty fucking useful already.
Yeah.
We don't know how much it'll cost, because they're still seeking production partners to manufacture the damn thing. What we do know is that we want one.
Yes.
Because anything this ridiculous and practical deserves to be successful. So we will be keeping our eyes open for when the dad bag hits the market.
It has the multi-purpose because it's kind of sneaky, but also if you're like a security guard and you see that thing coming at you, you don't have to fucking touch that. You know what? You're fine.
No.
Go. Oh, you don't have a backpack on or anything? Just go. Just
Yeah.
keep walking, kid. It's smart.
Yeah.
I'll give it that.
All those old guys that can't see very well.
No, they don't want to touch it is the thing.
Oh, okay.
It's disgusting.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Let's move on to headlines because we got some headlines
Whoop.
from the world of weirdness out there.
Here's one from Manatee County, Florida.
Man, it just keeps popping up, doesn't it? Wow.
Sign language interpreter used gibberish, warned of bears and monsters during Hurricane Irma update.
I guarantee you it's because they had limited resources to go out and actually find
That's
someone who
exactly
was...
why.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, your cousin did sign language in high school? All right, get him in here.
Yeah, it's a guy who's like, I think his brother or something knew sign language. So he knew like pigeon sign language. He wasn't great at it. He could communicate with his sibling, couldn't communicate the very fact-based information needed in this sort of natural disaster situation.
But imagine the deaf people seeing this and being like,
Wait, there's bears too?
Holy fuck, this was a strong hurricane. It brought a bunch of bears down.
Oh my god.
This is ridiculous. But also, like, okay, 2 things. 1, I have no idea why, I've been saying this for years, why sign language isn't taught in every school starting in 1st grade all the way through high school and is solidified as a world language.
Well, that's the
I
problem.
know that there's different...
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all segmented. There's American Sign Language and there's Universal Sign Language. It's all...
It needs to become one thing.
Yeah.
And you don't need to go into, like, very specific stuff, but it should be able to get you through a normal conversation with someone if
Yeah.
you're lost or whatever.
Or just be able to talk to someone across the room. Do that.
Yeah. Teachers hate them.
Hey, I'll meet you. Yeah. No, there was kids in my grade school who like learned sign language or something, and they like.
Yeah, but
could
it's so
talk to you.
obvious. They're fucking...
Oh, they,
Is that offensive?
I don't know. How
Uh,
else are you supposed to do it?
Also, the other question would be, I mean, even live, closed captioning exists.
Yeah, just get a court reporter in there.
Well, beside from that, like, it's on the screen. It has maybe a 5-second delay,
Yeah.
but you can read the words on the screen. Why do you need someone...
That's right.
And they also had a sign language guy. I went to that concert, and during Muse, they had a sign language guy. And I'm like, I mean, I'm sure that they love the vibrations.
Yes.
So
the only way they can
and they
listen.
know the lyrics because you read them in the lyric book if you buy the
The
album.
CD jewel case.
Or you go up to rapgenius.com or whatever.
it's
They got
just-
all
it's
the...
just genius.
They got rock in there now as well. So it's like, if you know the lyrics, like I don't have a guy standing next to the artist singing it in plain English for me. Like, he's just talking like in monotone, like just doing the lyrics. Like, oh, I get it now.
Did you understand?
Did you understand? There's a euphemism in there is the thing. Here, let me explain.
Hey, singer, I can't understand you.
What is a juggalo? He takes a shit in your macaroni. Get it? Gloop.
Doesn't the music artist talk to the people between songs? That's why you need like a translator for that?
No, they're doing it the whole time. And then, you know, they love it, the translators. They love the artist, too. So they're always like,
They
whenever there's
head-bobbing while they're doing it?
whenever there's no lyrics, he's playing the drums, playing the air drum.
Oh.
And it's got to be confusing, too, if you can't hear it. And
why
you're like,
is he
wait,
talking
why
about
is
drums?
it's off beat. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, let's move on to the second headline out of so far. Arkansas woman used government funds to buy her dog a tuxedo.
Yeah, she broke pretty bad. She embezzled like $200,000 off her. She worked for like the courts and used her government credit card to buy a bunch of shit for herself, including like jewelry, football game tickets. But she also bought her dog a tuxedo, and that's what everyone's focusing on right now.
How could I leave the best paper trail possible? I
Use a
know.
government credit card.
I'll use my government, not even petty cash.
Use my government credit card.
Not even petty cash, where it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it would be like the plot of Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, where it's like, don't worry, I'll pay it back.
Yeah. I don't think she thought it out too well.
Yeah.
She probably did it like once and she was like, oh, well, we haven't been audited in the last 6 days, so looks like I can just do this forever.
I gotta buy a bunch of goofy shit so then I can claim the card was stolen.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I buy a tuxedo for a dog? You mean that dog right there in the family portrait that's wearing a tuxedo?
That's
a different tuxedo. Olin Mills provided that tuxedo for the dog. We got it done at the Dillards. They were offering a half off sale.
So, yeah, it sounds like the government's gonna have to take away that dog's favorite tuxedo.
Imagine how heartbreaking that's gonna be for the dog.
Take the tuxedo off. I'm just naked. Give me clothes.
My dick's hanging out. Oh, jeez. All right, let's move on.
Gas station robbery suspect's getaway car runs out of fuel. I don't know, it's just
Irony.
funny. He stole everything he
stole-
wanted except for the gas.
Except
that
for the
he
gas to get away.
Yeah. Well,
Stupid.
there's a weird pattern with crime. A lot of these criminals are not very smart.
They have to, if you're planning a crime, they need to have like a heist movie because they teach people how to steal and stuff.
That's true.
They need to have a heist movie where they go through all the ironic things that could happen in their heist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, we don't want this to go wrong, and we especially don't want it to go wrong ironically.
We need to hire a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
To come in and be part of the crew.
Crack all the jokes of every possible outcome.
Every possible thing that could go wrong. We need you to make fun of them right now.
Yeah.
And then it would be fine.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine they get away with it and it's like, well, fuck. How could we catch them? They had a comedian.
Yeah.
The guy is telling us, he's telling him everything that could possibly go wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. North Carolina mom invents a spray she says will attract Bigfoot within a mile and a half.
Any Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like how specific it is. Mile and a half. And then you're like, so what?
How did you test this?
Okay, let's drop it. Bigfoot isn't showing up. She's like, well, it might be outside of the mile and a half radius.
Yeah. Well, it's a good way to prove that your product works, I guess.
Yeah.
No
Well,
Bigfoot's here.
Yeah.
The everything's
now we know.
It's just like the everything's okay alarm.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the journalist talking to her is like, do you have any proof that this works? She's like, do you have any proof that it doesn't work?
Yeah, classic.
Checkmate.
Classic.
People in Switzerland want to know who's clogging their toilets with wads of cash.
The Nazis.
Probably the Nazis, yeah.
They got all that Nazi gold
Although
and
it's
cash.
like modern money. I don't know. This is very odd. Just a lot of toilets just chopped up like Swiss francs showing up. They can't figure it out.
It's because they traded the Nazi gold for cash, and now the cash is dirty money.
Yeah, could be. I don't know.
Or it's those Toblerone bars. They're worth their weight in gold.
They are. They are. Even though they did reduce the amount of chocolate.
That's why you got to go to the airport and get the gigantic one. And you just sit there and gnaw on it on a flight.
You can also break them off. Be less obnoxious with it.
Hand someone a triangle this big. Here you go. Enjoy. Maybe get a napkin because it's going to be all over the place. Mayor of Los Angeles says his city would have been happy with just the Rams. That's right. Everyone fucking hates that the Chargers are here.
Yeah.
It makes no
It's
sense.
the most pointless city transfer in modern sports history. I
Also,
would say.
the current stadium they're playing in might as well be halfway to fucking San Diego. It's in Carson.
Yeah.
Nobody's going there.
And the stadium is one of the smallest in the league, if not the smallest. It only seats 25,000.
Yeah.
And it's only been half full for the game so far.
Well, it's a historically low rating season for the NFL in general.
Yeah.
For some reason, like the Donald's taking credit for that. Like
because they're too liberal. I don't know.
Yeah. Like the all
They're
right
not,
thinking-
though.
I know. But yeah, it's like low ratings. First of all. Second of all, no one in LA likes the Chargers at all.
No.
Like people enjoy the Rams because it's like a classic.
The
LA
Rams
team.
were here before.
It would be completely different. Completely different if the Raiders came back and went to that stadium. Would be completely fine.
Yeah, no, people would be all about that.
Yeah, the Chargers, nah, it's
Yeah,
fine.
Why?
Get out.
San Diego's pissed. LA's just like, okay, I mean, we wanted a football team. We already got one.
We got one. It's
but,
fine. We're good.
Sure, come on up. So pointless. But I love that even Eric Garcetti is just like, I mean, we would have been happy with just the one. Like, I mean,
What do you want us to do?
he was talking about it. He's
We
like,
already got the Olympics. He's like, we don't
he
have to
literally
worry.
said, he's like, I was a kid growing up in LA. I was really sad when the Rams left, so I was happy when the Rams came back. If it had been the Raiders, I would have been happy
Or the
about
Ch-
that.
yeah,
Or
exactly.
the Raiders. And he was just like, yeah, I feel really bad for the fans in San Diego. Like, they don't have a team.
Like nobody likes their team.
That's the fucking mayor of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Literally the redheaded stepchild
Yeah.
of the NFL.
Wow.
I mean, at least when it's like the Cleveland Browns, it's like, hey, that's our team.
Yeah.
They'd never leave because no one wants them.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as the Chargers. Like, why would they ever leave? Nobody wants the Chargers.
Yeah.
And the Rams won last night against San Francisco, too. So, I mean, doing pretty well. Yeah. They got that young 30-year-old coach really
right.
making moves.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
He's running for re-election, but he can't poop in public anymore, a court said.
Oh, is it a dog? Is it like one of those dog mayors?
No, it's just a shitty guy up in Mendocino County or one of those counties up there.
Yeah.
He's just he has a history of shitting on the lawns of people he doesn't like, and also being he assaults people and shit. But he has a county seat.
Yeah. Well, must be good at his job.
I don't know.
I like the way this guy works.
Yeah, he's honest. He says what he means.
And he shits on people's lawns.
Yeah.
I completely thought you were going to be like, the joke is that it's one of those dog mayors and they have to take it out front to the courthouse and
That
has to
would
poop
be
out
clever.
there. Yeah. We're going to install a mayoral toilet City Hall for the dog. One of those little grass squares.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. Why don't you give that guy a grass square somewhere?
Yeah.
But like, here's the thing. Every time he hates someone, they go dig up some sod from that person's lawn. And then he shits privately and they bring it back and put it there with the turd on it.
Not illegal.
Not illegal. Just
Might be illegal.
But
I don't know.
Great optics.
Yeah.
Great optics.
Final headline, Pope Francis admits the church was a bit late on tackling sex abuse. It's the understatement of the fucking century.
Yeah,
Pope.
literally the century.
Wow.
Or more. Understatement of the millennium.
Maybe, okay, yes, we had an epidemic of pedophile priests. We were a bit slow in dealing with it, sure. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, the big thing here would be the fact that they didn't deal with it for hundreds, if not thousands of years.
Very long time.
Made it okay for these priests to continue doing it with no repercussions.
Hey, well, there's a couple bad apples in every bunch. Hey.
Much like the Juggalos, us Catholic priests are getting a bad rap.
Did we wait a little too long? Yes. Francis is here now.
I want to see the Catholic priests march on Washington with all their little boyfriends.
Oh, no.
Probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Maybe we should, I don't know, look into this.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
A little
Just
bit
a little late
there.
though. Yeah, just a little late. Anyways, that's it for Weekly Weird News this week. Please be sure to check out a brand new episode of. Oh wait, what happened to Tiggs?
What?
Oh, Tugs is back.
Where am I gonna get all my information?
Yeah, Tugs is back, and also watch a brand new episode of Tech News Day. We'll see
Yeah.
you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.